Clarifying the mind and seeing its essence is understanding the way. You should each practice diligently. What a pity if you waste your time. If you do not practice for a day, then you are a ghost for a day. If you do practice for a single breath, then you are a realized immortal for a breath. More effort. More effort. Extra descriptions. The state of self is a translation of. The modern translation of is nature or naturalness. In ancient China one could also read the characters separately. Means self and one meaning of is state. Can be interpreted as the state of the self. Therefore the translation can also be, the state of the, higher, self is called Tao. Because Zuran, is usually translated as nature or naturalness, English-speaking practitioners often think the Tao means being like nature or going with the flow, and they like to talk about Wu Wei, non-action. However, as the quote below explains, Zuran refers to a natural process, which occurs when ingredients have similar qualities. The work of fashioning the elixir can produce results, it merely lies in these two words, naturally occurring, Zuran self-nature, spontaneous, and the mystery of what is meant by naturally occurring merely lies in these two words, similar things, Dong Lei. Take only those things as your true ingredients which do in fact share similar qualities, and you cause a sympathetic effect to occur quite naturally between them. This must, once and for all, be understood. Zhu Yuanyu, commentary on the Cantong Qi, is quoted in The Secret of Everlasting Life. The mind of Tao belongs to water. The yang line inside water refers to the real awareness of the mind of Tao and is firm energy, which also called true lead. This energy is able to strip away the mundane energy of the human mind. This yang energy is similar to the yang energy of the original spirit, and therefore the original spirit naturally returns. Things of a kind attract each other. Thus the yang energy of the trigram, Kan, water leaps upward. Then it is no longer the yang energy of, Kan, water, but the yang energy of the trigram, Xian, heaven, responding to the yang energy of heaven. As soon as these two substances meet each other, they unite inseparably, they intermingle and move quickly, to and fro, up and down. In one's inner temple there is an immeasurable emptiness. The Secret of the Golden Flower, Chapter 8, Number 7. Controlling the human mind by the mind of Tao does not happen spontaneously, but requires action, Yue, it requires reversal or going against the natural flow. Everyone in the world knows the path of going along, but not he path of reverse operation. What is going along? It means going along with the natural process. What is reversal? It means reversal of the natural process. Going along with the natural process gives birth to humans and other beings, the cycle of birth, aging, sickness, and death never ceasing. Reversing the natural process produces enlightened adepts who are neither born nor perish, having a lifespan equal to that of the universe. Lu Yiming, The Inner Teachings of Taoism. Spiritual alchemy must start with doing, Yue, restoring the primordial while in the midst of the temporal, recovering one's original jewel of life. When the jewel of life is in the hand, its control depends on oneself, and it is not moved by creation. At that point one embraces the fundamental and preserves unity, traveling the path of non-doing, Wu Wei, thereby realizing the original essence of real emptiness. What can be done for those who only know non-doing and do not know doing? Lu Yiming, Commentary on Understanding Reality. The secret of the elixir of life consists in using action, doing, in order to attain non-action, non-doing, the secret of the golden flower, Chapter 1, Number 7. Those who are spiritually advanced concern themselves with internal actions. Ibn Abbad of Ronda, 14th c. Sufi, the character for Tao means way. However, the meaning of Tao is much broader than just way. It also refers to the universal state of awareness in which the original spirit or higher self is awake and aware of itself, and of the lower self. This state has been given many names such as, God, the Lord, Allah, Master, the Sun God Ra, the Sun Goddess Amaterasu, the Pure Land, the Promised Land, Nirvana, Satori, Original Spirit, the Higher Self and Real I. The Tao refers to the state of the divine presence of the original spirit and the way to reach it, with the emphasis on the state. Every step towards enlightenment is enlightenment itself. Buddha. Returning in 7 days, it is beneficial to have a place to go. Lu Yiming, hexagram number 24. Return, the Taoist I Ching. The I Ching hexagram return consists of 1 yang, arising under 5 yins. Yin is quietude, yang is movement. When quietude reaches its consummation, it gives rise to movement. It is this point of movement that is the mysterious pass. Li Dao Chun, 13th C Taoist Master, the Book of Balance and Harmony. This point of movement is the beginning of the way, the Tao, and is also called the narrow gate, while the way is also called the mysterious pass. Enter in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way, that leadeth to destruction, and many there be who go there, because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. The Bible, Matthew 7:14. The way consists of 6 steps. Growing from 1 yang to gradually reach the pure wholeness of 6 yangs, going from vague to clear, the gold elixir develops naturally. Lu Yiming, He Inner Teachings of Taoism. The concept of essence and life is an important idea in Taoism. The real people of ancient times said that essence and life should both be cultivated, so the work requires 2 stages. One of the paths of spiritual alchemy is cultivating life, one is cultivating essence. Lu Yiming, Commentary on Understanding Reality, Part 2 number 42. As was said in the text, essence is just the original spirit. The concept of life has an inner meaning. The path of cultivating life is the path of doing, the path of cultivating essence is the path of non-doing. Lu Yiming, Commentary on Understanding Reality, Part 2 number 42. He 10 ox-herding pictures showing action in the first 6 images, when the bull, the lower self is brought under control, to attain non-action in the last 4 images, the prolonged presence of the original spirit. By Tomokichiro Takariki. Life doesn't refer to the life of the physical body but to the life of the spiritual body of effort to bring back the presence of the original spirit or essence. Cultivating life refers to using a method. This method, or spiritual body of effort, is called Sambhogakaya, reward body, in Buddhism, while essence is called the Dharmakaya, truth body, to realize our own essence of mind from moment to moment without intermission until we attain supreme enlightenment, so that we are perpetually in a state of right mindfulness, is the Sambhogakaya. Huineng. The last 4 ox-herding pictures represent being in a state of right mindfulness, the first 6 images refer to using a method to attain this state. Essence is a matter of the Dharma body, while life is a matter of the ephemeral body. Lu Yiming, Commentary on Understanding Reality, Part 4 number 1. Once you have entered darkness, essence is disturbed and life is destabilized. In a single day you are born 1,000 times and die 10,000 times. Lu Yiming, The I Ching, Book I number 4, Darkness. When the light of the golden flower is not shining and we don't make effort to make it shine, we live in a state of darkness or sleep, which is also called death. The spiritual pill enables one to pass from death to life. What is the spiritual pill? It just means to be not attached to one's heart in all situations. The Secret of the Golden Flower, Chapter 8. The light of heaven refers to true consciousness, which cannot be seen. However, if one has a certain level of self-awareness oneself, one can to some extent see when another person is in a state of psychological sleep. His or her eyes are unfocused and one can see the person is listening to internal chatter and has no awareness of himself or his surroundings. Again, depending on one's own internal state of self-awareness, one can also see when a person has a heightened level of awareness, especially when one has eye contact. There will be a vividness and emotional spark in the person's eyes. If the other person's original spirit is strongly present, it will shock one's own higher self more strongly into being. The eye is called the window of the soul. Leonardo da Vinci. In the human body the spirit manifests itself in the eyes. The mind is the ruler of the spirit. The eyes are the point where the spirit is gathered. Shui Qing Zhu, Cultivating Stillness, by Eva Wong. The light of the body is the eye, if therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. The Bible, Matthew 6-22. If therefore thine eye be single refers to the third eye. If it is active thy whole body shall be full of light, the light of the golden flower. The Chinese text literally reads Donghua passed on the teaching to somebody else. The character means something or somebody else. An author uses this character to express modesty. The Chinese reader understands that the author means himself. The secret of the golden flower is attributed to Lu Dongbin, who was born around 796 CE during the Tang dynasty and is also known as Lu Yan and Lu Su. It was not written down by him, but spiritually communicated to Taoist students, who lived in the 17th century and written down in 1692. The idea that divine knowledge is communicated from a higher world is common to other esoteric tradition as well. Examples are the Quran, which is thought to be verbally revealed through angel Jibril, Gabriel, from God to Muhammad. In the Buddhist tradition, Nagarjuna received from Bodhisattva Vajrasattva the two major sutras of esoteric Buddhism, the Mahavairakana Sutra and the Vajrasekhara Sutra, and the Buddhist patriarch Asanga is said to have spent many years in intense meditation, during which time he often visited the Tushita heaven to receive teachings from Maitreya Bodhisattva. In the Fourth Way tradition, Rodney Collin received communications from Uspensky after his death, which were responsible for the creation of his book The Theory of Eternal Life. Of his, Uspensky's, achievement then let this present book stand witness, written this year following his death, of knowledge undeserved by me. Let him who can understand, understand. For so it is. Rodney Collin, 20th C. Fourth Way Teacher. Master Shushun, 239-374 CE, was a famous Taoist priest in the Easter Jin dynasty. The aim of the teaching and the secret of the golden flower is immortality through the creation of an immortal spirit body. People who have created this body are then able to help other people to achieve the same. It is clear for the Chinese reader that this passage means that Master Shushun spiritually communicated an esoteric teaching after his physical body has passed away. Lu Yu, 1257-1308, is the founder of a syncretic school called Jingming Dao, the Pure and Bright Way, which is centered on the teaching of Shushun. In 1282 he had a visionary encounter with Hu Huichao, 703, a Taoist master who 6 centuries earlier had revived a movement in the name of Shushun called Shaowao, the Way of Filiality. Hu told him that he was destined to become an exemplar of 800 devotees of Jingming and that he could expect to meet Shushun himself, which he did, 15 years later, in a similar visionary encounter. Encyclopedia of Taoism, edited by Fabrizio Pregadio. In the notes of his translation of The Secret of the Golden Flower, Thomas Cleary writes that Lu Dongbin is envisioned to have been entrusted with a mission for the celestial government and duty-bound to reappear in the human world from time to time. Whether in the East or West, people who have created an immortal spiritual body and are thus able to continue to exist consciously after their mortal body has died, help people who have the same aim to awaken their original spirit and create an immortal astral body. This is the inner meaning of a guardian angel, which is not as common as people think. The term Taiyi has been variously translated as the Great One, the Great Monad, Great Unity or Great Oneness. It stands for the cosmic oneness or unity at the base of the universe, as well as the experience of this oneness. Taiyi has been viewed, furthermore, as representing the immortal identity or true self of a person. The Encyclopedia of Taoism, edited by Fabrizio Pregadio. The unity of the true or higher self of a person contrasts the plurality of the lower self of a person. When the believer has mastered his lower self, so that it serves as a riding mount beneath him, the deeds of his heart will shine forth upon his face. Al-Jilani, 12th C. Sufi? Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor, and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God, in it thou shalt not do any work. The Bible, Exodus 28-10. The first 6 stages may be considered as preparatory. The decisive stage, the 7th stage, is the stage where the Bodhisattva attains complete freedom from all sense of clinging. It is the stage where he obtains the Dharmakaya. Nagarjuna, 2nd C. Buddhist philosopher. To unveil the original spirit, to reach a state of divine presence one must take action and use a method. If one doesn't take action, one will stay as one is. Reaching the state of divine presence is called non-action. The great Tao is natural and spontaneous, without artifice. Why is it necessary to use a method of deliberate action? The reason it is indeed necessary to use the method is to get rid of degeneracy. When all degenerations are effectively done away with, then the method is not needed, just as a raft needed to cross a river is to be left behind once the river is crossed, and a net needed to catch fish is to be put away once the fish has been caught. Liu Yiming, 18c. Taoist Master, Awakening the Tao. Above it was said, the Tao has no name or form, it is just the essence, just the original spirit. Essence refers to the original spirit. Once true sense appears, not concealing, not deceiving, the original spirit is always present and the discriminating spirit does not arise, then the temperament sublimates and the spiritual essence becomes manifest. Liu Yiming, The Inner Teachings of Taoism. Here the golden flower is said to symbolize light. Light refers not to light that enables one to see with one's physical eyes, but to true consciousness or awareness, which enables one to see, be aware of and understand things that one cannot, without this consciousness. Fix your thoughts upon the light and learn to know it. Hermes Trismegistus, the purported author of the Hermetic Corpus, sacred texts that are the basis of Hermeticism, lead me from the unreal to the real. Lead me from darkness to light. Lead me from death to immortality. Upanishads, Hindu text. The state when the light of the golden flower is shining, is out of time, so it is immortal. You should each practice diligently. If you do practice for a single breath, then you are realized immortal for a breath. The secret of the golden flower. The Chinese characters for golden flower, Jinhua, hide the word light in it. The lower part of the character for gold, and the upper part for the character flower, make up the character for light. If you want to know the location of the river source which produces the medicine, it is just in the southwest, its original homeland. When lead meets the arising of the younger water, you should quickly gather it. Understanding Reality by Zhang Baoduan, 11th c. Taoist Master. The inner medicine is the primordial point of true yang, the celestial. It is likened to the cinder line in the I Ching trigram heaven. When it mates with earth, that forms water. The center line represents true inner sense, which is firm and hence symbolized by metal, so it is also called metal in water. Li Dao Chun, 13th c. Taoist Master, the Book of Balance and Harmony. The medicine is true yang of the mind of Tao, which can burn away one's mundanity, or the yin of the human mind. This medicine is produced from the trigram earth, which symbolizes the receptive heart. This trigram is in the southwest, according to the arrangement of the 8 trigrams in the cosmological configurations. One's normal state of mind is yin. The mind of Tao is yang and is represented by lead, or metal. The trigram earth symbolizes the receptive heart. The words earth and heart have the same letters. When the heart is receptive, the mind of Tao can return. This is represented by the trigram water, which has one unbroken line, yang, within 2 broken lines, yin. The return of the mind of Tao or yang, represents turning around the light, which means becoming aware of oneself. When this arises, one should quickly gather it. This means one should quickly act, keep it there and not let it slip away. This state is one's original homeland and has only one taste. Once one has tasted it, one will remember it and realize that this is one's true home. One's true home is not a place but a state of mind. The true lead is the primordial root of consciousness. It is also called the root of heaven, or the true unified vitality, or the true unified energy, or lead from the homeland of water, or metal within water, or white within black, or the yang soul within the yin soul, or the black tiger, or the metal man. The ancients represented it symbolically in many ways, but when we get back to the important point, they are all just depicting the mind of Tao. Liu Yiming, 18th c. Taoist Master, can be translated as turning around the light, but also as circling or revolving the light. The Chinese character for turn evolved over time from the left image to the right and shows its meaning started out as turning inward in a circular movement. Light refers to consciousness or awareness, which is normally turned outwards, to the external world. The light principle returns, Thus the hexagram counsels turning away from the confusion of external things, turning back to one's inner light. There, in the depths of the soul, one sees the divine, the One. Hexagram number 24 Return, I Ching, Wilhelm/Baines. The science of essential life begins and ends with nurturing the primordial open non-reified true One energy. This energy is neither material nor immaterial and it has no shape or form. It has, nevertheless, been represented by the symbol of the circle, and called by various names. Liu Yiming, 18c. Taoist master. The science of turning around the light, the effort to sustain one's awareness on the divine present, begins and ends with nurturing the energy of the primal or original spirit. The first step of turning around the light is turning one's awareness from the outer to the inner world. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was in chaos, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. The Bible, Genesis 1:1-3. The creation myths of all religions refer to the creation of the light of consciousness rather than the creation of the physical world. God refers to the original spirit, which wants to come into being. The moon shines clear, astride a golden dragon, one visits the star of the Lord of Heaven. The original self becomes completely manifest, wholly integrated with the celestial design, round and bright, pure yang with no yin. As for visiting the star of the Lord of Heaven is the Lord of creation. When practice of reality reaches the point of restoration of the body of heaven, the Lord is in oneself. Liu Yiming, Understanding Reality. But this celestial mechanism of practicing reversal in the midst of accord has a secret which is communicated verbally and instructs the heart. One must seek the guidance of the true teacher, for it cannot be known through arbitrary guesswork. Although it is called reverse action, in fact it is action in accord with principle. It is called reversal because it goes contrary to the course of action of ordinary people. Inner Teachings of Taoism, by Liu Yiming, 18c. Taoist Master. People who are deluded and unawakened go along with the force of mundanity, yin, as it strips away the celestial, yang. Then when yang is exhausted and the yin is total, it is impossible not to die. Inner Teachings of Taoism, by Liu Yiming. Life is asleep, and we are going against the stream. Like salmon with a strong homing instinct, we must swim against the current of life's sleep to remember ourselves and develop our souls. What is it to be a man, but to struggle against the current of the masses, and through great labor and desolate trials create one's soul? Robert Burton, 21st c. Fourth Way Spiritual Teacher. The two eyes are instruments to perceive light. The sun is the source of physical light while the moon reflects the sunlight. Since light is a symbol for consciousness, the sun and moon are also used as symbols in relation to consciousness. The sun symbolizes the original spirit while the moon represents the part in man that brings back the presence of the original spirit, the mind of Tao. The two eyes are used as symbols for the sun and the moon in all esoteric traditions. When we begin to press forward firmly established, at first there appears in our mind a lamp which the hand of our mind holds aloft to guide our mental steps. Thereafter comes a full moon, circling in the sky of the heart, and, at last, the sun. Philokalia, Hezekiah's of Jerusalem, a lamp symbolizes the first step or effort to turn around the light. A full moon refers to a prolonged effort that is also symbolized by a circle. After that comes the sun, a prolonged state of the presence of the original spirit. The Egyptians often referred to the sun and the moon as the eyes of particular gods. The sun and the moon are thine eyes. When thou dost sleep it is dark, and when thou dost open thine eyes it is bright again. Hymn addressed to Patatanan. O Krishna, who is the younger brother of Indra? Who is sun and moon as two eyes? Stotra Ratnavali, Hindu text. The character for, Tao, way, is pregnant with hidden meaning. First two dots are written. The left one symbolizes light, the right one symbolizes darkness, as in the symbol of the Absolute wherein yin and yang embrace each other. These two dots represent the sun and the moon in the sky, water and fire on earth, and the two eyes in human beings, which reverse light and gaze inwardly in the course of refinement exercises. Grand Master Zhang Hadao, 16th generation transmitter of the Dragon Gate sect, opening the Dragon Gate, the making of Taoist wizard. All esoteric traditions use the square as a symbol for a prolonged state of divine presence, in which original spirit is awake. Chanting the square deific, out of the one advancing, out of the sides, out of the old and new, out of the square entirely divine, solid, four-sided, all the sides needed, from this side Jehovah am I. Walt Whitman, 19th c. American poet. And the city, the heavenly Jerusalem, lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. The Bible, Revelation 21:16. The four characters on the coin basin mean, the higher self only knows contentment. The lower self is always happy to be complaining and be discontented. Ryoanji Temple, Kyoto, Japan. The square and circle are far away if there is not enough effort. Liu Yiming, 18th c. Taoist master. Lao Tzu says that the mind of the honorable person is like the mind of the sage. It embraces heaven and earth and is in harmony with the principles of heaven. It has a smooth cover and expresses itself humbly. It lowers its sharp peaks and hides its comers. Outside it appears round but inside it is square. Shui Qing Zhu, Commentary on Cultivating the Tao. All esoteric traditions use a city as a symbol for the state of divine presence in which one's original spirit, the higher self, is awake. And the city, the heavenly Jerusalem, lieth foursquare, the length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. The Bible, Revelations 21:16. As we ascend the ladder by one step after another we shall arrive to the very city of heaven. Simeon the New Theologian, Philokalia, Greek Orthodox Christian text. Wherever my beloved is, there is Jerusalem. Ibn al-Farid, 13th c., Arabian Sufi poet. Ancient Chinese cities used to be square to symbolize this idea. This city has come into existence with the order of B. Rumi, 13th c. Sufi mystic and poet. The virtue of attention is called mental love of wisdom. This virtue will produce in your heart a rich harvest of all good things. In the beginning you will find it a ladder, then a book which you will read and, finally, progressing further and further, will find it a city, the heavenly Jerusalem. Philokalia, Hezekiahs of Jerusalem. The term yellow court or castle, refers to the heavenly heart in which the original spirit has awakened. It is also called the middle palace, the yellow woman or wife, the mysterious female, or the mysterious pass. He Egyptian god Hathor with a narrow gate on her head. She gives birth to the sun god Ra every morning. She is also called the earth mother and the gatekeeper. The opening of the mysterious female is the opening of the mysterious pass. This opening has a double door, opening and closing. Outside is a spiritual officer on sentry, inside are a dragon and tiger standing guard. The central hall is one room which extends in all directions, in it dwells a true human, with unkempt hair and bare feet, wearing a patchwork garment of 5 colors and a belt of yellow silk, holding a scepter of golden light, sitting peacefully on the chair of spontaneity. To the right there is a golden boy, to the left a jade girl. Sometimes the true human opens its eyes and light fills the universe, illuminating even the dark regions of the netherworld. Sometimes the true human opens its mouth and energy fills the universe, putting all demons to flight. The true human holds the power of evolution, the mechanism of yin and yang, the talisman of life and death, the handle of essence and life. However, there are few people in the world who are in genuine earnest. Most cannot put forth intensive effort or endure long perseverance, also they do not seek out the fundamental true principles, but just think of the mysterious pass and mysterious female in terms of physical locations and do some minor techniques which are attached either to voidness or to form, falsely imagining that they will attain the Tao thereby. This is pitiful. The Inner Teachings of Taoism, by Liu Yiming, 18th c. Taoist Master. The I Ching hexagram return consists of 1 yang, arising under 5 yins. Yin is quietude, yang is movement. When quietude reaches its consummation, it gives rise to movement. It is this point of movement that is the mysterious pass. Li Dao Chun, 13th c. Taoist Master, the Book of Balance and Harmony. This point of movement is the beginning of the way, the Tao, and is also called the narrow gate, while the way is also called the mysterious pass. The narrow gate or the mysterious pass. Enter in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way, that leadeth to destruction, and many there be who go there, because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. The Bible, Matthew 7:14. The narrow gate and the mysterious pass, Japanese Shinto Tori. The way consists of 6 steps. Growing from one yang to gradually reach the pure wholeness of 6 yangs, going from vague to clear, the gold elixir develops naturally. Lu Yiming, He Inner Teachings of Taoism. Man has no unity. His lower self is a rather random collection of thoughts, emotions, attitudes, dreams, and mechanical habits. Man is likened unto a country. The human body is like a country, and the mind is like a ruler. Lu Yiming, the Taoist I Ching. The subjects of a country symbolize a man's thoughts, emotions and sensations. Esoteric traditions use the number 10,000 to symbolize the plurality of a human being's psychology. There exist 10,000 worlds, and all these are contained in man, without his being conscious of it. Darqawi, 18th c. Moroccan Sufi. As acquired conditioning runs affairs, mundanity, yin, increases and the celestial retreats, day after day, year after year. Inwardly, the 10,000 thoughts cause trouble, outwardly the 1,000 things coerce. Lu Yiming, 18th c. Taoist Master, The Inner Teachings of Taoism. The universe lies in your hands, the 10,000 transformations are born from yourself. Yin Fujing, Scripture of Hidden Agreement. The plurality of a human being is also symbolized by a house with many servants. Man is compared to a house in which there is a multitude of servants but no master and no steward. The servants have all forgotten their duties, no one wants to do what he ought, everyone tries to be master, if only for a moment. The house can be got ready for the arrival of the steward who will, in his turn, prepare it for the arrival of the master. Gurdjieff, 20th c. Fourth Way Spiritual Teacher. The Master refers to the original spirit also called the inner mind, the light of awareness. Seeing and hearing, emotions, desires, and opinions are all internal thieves. But if the inner mind is awake and alert, sitting aloof in the middle of it all, then these plunderers change and become members of the household. Hong Jicheng by Cajun Tan, 16th c. Chinese philosopher. A man's foes shall be they of his own household. The Bible, Matthew, 10:36. And the Lord said, Who then is that faithful and wise steward, who his Lord shall make ruler over his household? The Bible, Luke 12:42. The light is easy to move, but difficult to fix means that it is not difficult to begin to turn around the light and start to be aware of oneself, but it is difficult to fix this awareness, it is difficult to keep self-awareness. All esoteric traditions use a method to make self-awareness more stable. The Great Tao is natural and spontaneous, without artifice. Why is it necessary to use a method of deliberate action? Why is it necessary to use a method of deliberate action? The reason it is indeed necessary to use the method is to get rid of degeneracy. When all degenerations are effectively done away with, then the method is not needed, just as a raft needed to cross a river is to be left behind once the river is crossed and a net needed to catch fish is to be put away once the fish has been caught. This is the meaning of using a method and not using a method. Lu Yiming Awakening the Tao, the Fourth Way, a practical system of ideas for self-development, also speaks about crystallization. In order to be able to speak of any kind of future life, there must be a certain crystallization, a certain fusion of man's inner qualities, a certain independence of external influences. If there is anything in a man able to resist external influences, then this very thing itself may also be able to resist the death of the physical body. Gurdjieff, 20th c. Fourth Way Spiritual Teacher. The whole of the body, all the tissues, all the cells, would become saturated with these fine hydrogens which would gradually settle in them, crystallizing in a special way. This crystallization of the fine hydrogens would gradually bring the whole organism onto a higher level, onto a higher plane of being. Gurdjieff. The term hydrogens refers to different energies in man and in the universe, ranging from coarse to fine. The meaning of the Chinese concept of qi is very close to the concept of hydrogens. Mahayana Buddhism teaches the doctrine of the three bodies of a Buddha. The Dharmakaya or the Dharma body is the third body of a Buddha and means truth body, or reality body. It represents a prolonged state of presence of the original spirit. Mahavirikana means great shining one and refers to the light or awareness of the original spirit. The first 6 stages may be considered as preparatory. The decisive stage, the 7th stage, is the stage where the bodhisattva attains complete freedom from all sense of clinging. It is the stage where he obtains the Dharmakaya. Nagarjuna, 2nd c. Indian Buddhist philosopher. The first 6 stages refer to the action of controlling the lower self, the bull, by going from one yang to the pureness of 6 yangs. At this point the original spirit has fully awakened and one enters non-action. The 6 elements produce the 4 kinds of Dharmakaya. Kukai, 9th c. Japanese monk, founder of the Shingon, true word, school of Buddhism. In the light of the ninefold mist, you ride an auspicious phoenix. Zhang Baduan, understanding reality. 9 skies is in Chinese. If one traces the character, xiao, to its origin, one finds the meaning of clouds. The top part of the character is the character for rain, and is used in almost all words related to the weather like snow, hail, fog and frost. Therefore one can translate it as 9 kinds of weather or 9 kinds of clouds. The inner meaning relates to 9 different kinds of moods or passions that veil the original spirit, like the clouds blocking out sunshine. Your body's height, 6 feet or so, but your soul rises through 9 levels of sky. Rumi, 13th c. Sufi mystic and poet. The number 9 symbolizes pure yang and control of the passions. The path of perfecting essence is the work of 9 years facing a wall. When we say 9 years, it does not mean there really is a period of 9 years. 9 is the number for pure yang. It has the meaning of the 9 restoration of the gold liquid, when mundane is exhausted and the celestial is pure. This is what is meant by the saying that as long as the slightest mundanity is left, one does not become immortal. Liu Yiming, 18th c. Taoist master. This does not mean there are 9 passions. The numbers 18, 2, 72, 81 and 108 are also used to signify the passions. Numbers are the thoughts of God. The divine wisdom is reflected in the numbers impressed in all things. The construction of the physical and moral world alike is based on eternal numbers. Saint Augustine, 4th c. Christian saint. The man in whom the 36 streams of craving flow strongly towards pleasurable objects, the waves of passions carry him off. He is of confused vision and evil thoughts. Buddha. As long one is in one of the passions, one cannot reach the state of pure yang, the presence of the original spirit. If you practice for a single breath, then you are a realized immortal for a breath. The Secret of the Golden Flower, Chapter 13. This quote from the imprint of the Heart Sutra is abbreviated in Chinese text of The Secret of the Golden Flower. The whole quote is. The translation of the whole quote is, then you may silently contemplate the Supreme Ruler and in 12 years' time may wing your flight above. The Supreme Ruler symbolizes the original spirit. Means one period or discipline. Another meaning of the character, ji, is a period of 12 years. This doesn't really mean a period of 12 years. The number 12 refers to a period of circulating the light, of focusing one's awareness on the original spirit, after which one reaches a state of prolonged presence of the original spirit, which is referred to as flight. During the 12 periods of the day I do not attach myself to anything. Huang Po, 9th c. Chinese Zen master let us pass the whole day of 12 hours in guarding the mind. Philokalia, Hezekiahs of Jerusalem. Taoist alchemy, and all other esoteric traditions, uses different time cycles to symbolize the process of turning around the light, which is also called the firing process, the celestial mechanism or the production of an inner medicinal elixir. Sometimes it is expressed in hours, other times in days, months or years. Whether the text talks about hours of the day, phases in the waxing and waning of the moon, spring, summer, autumn or winter, or their noticeable effects on nature, it is basically describing one and the same thing, the timing of the production of an inner medicinal elixir. Richard Bertschinger, Introduction to the Secret of Everlasting Life, Canton Chia man's life goes forward in a procession of years, months, weeks, days and nights, hours and minutes. Along with them we too should go forward towards perfection until our very end. The Philokalia, Hesychius of Jerusalem. Concentrating one's thoughts on it refers to reminding oneself to turn the light around and begin self-awareness. When one does this, one will find that one soon forgets to be aware of oneself, because one started to listen to some other thoughts that came up. Therefore one has to remind oneself again and concentrate one's thoughts on it, and not listen to any other thoughts. Sweep away miscellaneous thoughts and return to one thought. Master Zen Yang, Master of True Yang, from Secret Records of Understanding the Way is quoted in Taoist meditation. The awareness and analysis of passing thoughts is a duty, since they include the messengers of Allah to the servant as well as the whispering of the enemy. Abu Talib al-Maki, 10c. Sufi mystic. Some esoteric traditions call the lower self the enemy because the lower isn't interested in this effort and will interrupt it again and again. All mechanical habits, tastes, and weaknesses fight against conscious self-remembering in man. George Gurdjieff, 20th c. Fourth Way Spiritual Teacher. The lower heart moves like a strong, powerful commander who despises the heavenly rule. The Secret of the Golden Flower ch.2, the character means heaven or sky. Here the text emphasis that it doesn't refer to sky. Being born in heaven means that the original spirit has awakened and the light of the house has been turned on. Then the house turns into a golden palace. This is a sign that the heart is opening up, it is a sign that the golden flower is opening. This is like a house built of yellow gold with a terrace of white jade. The Secret of the Golden Flower, Chapter 6 number 2-3. Think not that God is distant but seek Him in the heart, for the heart is the house of God. Shundai Zatsuwa. All esoteric tradition use the symbol of a house of gold or a heavenly palace as the dwelling place of the God within. What may be called the astral body is obtained by means of fusion, that is, by means of terribly hard inner work and struggle. Man is not born with it. And only very few men acquire an astral body. Gurdjieff, 20th c. Fourth Way Spiritual Teacher. By God's mercy there has come to be in me a form which is not fashioned out of matter, and I have passed forth out of myself, and entered into an immortal body. Hermes Trismegistus, purported author of the Hermetic Corpus. The term embryo just describes true awareness becoming solidified, stabilized, not scattering. Liu Yiming, 18c. Taoist Master. The pill of immortality is an idea from the Taoist tradition, although one can find the idea of an elixir of immortality in all esoteric traditions as the water of life, Amrita, ambrosia, soma or panacea. Instead of spending a whole day in exercises like the yogi, a week in prayer like the monk, or a month in self-torture like the fakir, the sly man simply prepares and swallows a little pill which contains all the substances he wants and, in this way, without loss of time, he obtains the required results. Gurdjieff, 20th c. Fourth Way Spiritual Teacher. Ancient immortals used the term golden pill, elixir, as a metaphor of the essence of true consciousness, which is fundamentally complete and illumined. Growing from one yang to gradually reach the pure wholeness of 6 yangs, going from vague to clear, the gold elixir develops naturally. Liu Yiming, 18c. Taoist Master. The hexagram return has 1 yang and signifies the beginning step of turning around the light. The development from 1 yang to 6 yangs represents reaching the essence or true awareness, the original spirit or the higher self. This is the wonderful charm that is spoken about. The lower circle of the gourd charm symbolizes earth and the upper circle heaven. The lower circle of the charm has a large fu, character in the middle meaning good fortune, referring to the presence of the original spirit, the only real good fortune. Surrounding the character fu, are 5 flying bats. A bat, fu, is a visual pun for good fortune or happiness, fu, because both characters are pronounced the same and the right part of the characters is the same. See, Gourd charms the 5 bats, together with the character for Jade,